If you're dreaming of that perfect Mount Fuji view, the one where Japan's most famous mountain rises majestically behind a vibrant red pagoda, then Chureito Pagoda should definitely be on your list. It's one of the most iconic scenes in all of Japan, and chances are you've already seen it on postcards, calendars, or splashed across Instagram. But no matter how many times you've seen the photo, nothing compares to experiencing it in person. And the best part? You can visit it on a calm, scenic day trip straight from Tokyo without feeling rushed or overwhelmed. My day started early at the Shinjuku Expressway bus terminal, which is perched just above the busy Shinjuku station. Despite how large the terminal is, it's surprisingly well organized and traveler-friendly. Since I'd already reserved my bus ticket online, everything moved smoothly. But even if you're traveling spontaneously, the ticket machines and staff at the terminal make it easy to purchase a seat on the spot. Once on board, I settled into my seat and let the city fade behind me. As the bus pulled away from the city, the landscape outside the window began to shift. Towering skyscrapers gave way to suburban streets and eventually to wider stretches of countryside. The winter scenery was especially lovely. Rooftops dusted in snow, trees standing bare and still. It's the kind of peaceful transition that lets you slow down and ease into the day. Although my ticket was for Kawaguchiko Station, I had planned ahead to hop off early at Shimoyoshida, one of the stops along the way and the closest one to Chureito Pagoda. Once I stepped off, the cool mountain air hit me, and there was this immediate sense that I'd left the city far behind. From here, the journey to Chureito truly begins, with a leisurely walk through the town, quiet streets lined with low buildings and hints of Fuji peeking through between the rooftops. The walk from the Shimoyoshida bus stop to Chureito Pagoda takes about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your pace. The path winds gently through a quiet residential neighborhood, and you'll pass local houses, small shrines, and even a school or two along the way. It's peaceful and simple, but that's what makes it special. As I walked, the streets were nearly empty, and the only sounds were my footsteps crunching on light snow and the occasional breeze rustling through bare trees. Fuji began to peek in and out from behind rooftops, like a shy guardian watching over the town. Eventually, you'll reach the base of Arakura Sengen Shrine, the entrance to the trail that leads to the pagoda. This is where the climb begins. And yes, there are stairs. Lots of stairs. Around 400 of them, in fact. But don't worry, there's no need to rush. The steps are surrounded by trees, and in winter, they're often frosted in snow or lined with fallen leaves, adding to the charm. The higher you go, the more you see. Rooftops, power lines, the curve of the hills, and of course, Mount Fuji growing ever more majestic in the distance. Then finally, you arrive at the viewing platform, and it's exactly what you came for. That postcard view. The bright red 5-storied Chureito Pagoda standing proudly in the foreground, with Mount Fuji rising gracefully behind it, capped with snow. And in between, the rooftops of Fujiyoshida City spreading out quietly like a soft gray blanket. I stood there for a long time, just admiring it. It's the kind of scene that makes you pause, take a deep breath, and just feel grateful. Whether the skies are clear blue or a bit misty, the mood of this place is always special. There are a few benches and a small area near the pagoda where you can rest. I even brought a warm drink in a thermos and sipped it while taking in the view. One of those little comforts that makes the experience even better. Once I'd taken my time at the top, soaking in the view, breathing in the crisp winter air, and yes, snapping a few too many photos, I began the descent. At first, I tried walking down the main sloped path leading away from the pagoda. It looked manageable, but in winter it can be quite slippery, especially after a light snowfall or when the ground starts to freeze over. I took a few careful steps, but about halfway down I found myself nearly slipping. That was my cue to switch to the stone staircase instead. It felt much safer with more grip underfoot, even if it meant a few extra steps. The staircase leads you gradually down through the trees and back to the lower shrine area. And once you're at the bottom, the walk toward Shimoyoshida Station becomes a gentle and pleasant stroll. The path winds through a quiet residential neighborhood with occasional open stretches that offer stunning views of Mount Fuji peeking over the rooftops. It's one of those walks that makes you slow down naturally, not because you're tired, but because you keep wanting to turn around and admire the mountain again and again. Shimoyoshida Station was just a short, pleasant walk from the base of the Chureito Pagoda, and reaching it felt like the final, gentle note of the day's adventure. The station itself is small, quiet, and has that nostalgic charm you often find in Japan's countryside. There's something peaceful about it. No crowds, just the occasional soft chime of announcements and the crisp mountain air drifting through. When the local train arrived, I couldn't help but smile. It wasn't a high-speed Shinkansen or a sleek commuter train. Instead, it had a slightly retro feel with big windows, a simple layout, and a more traditional operating system. There's a sense of stepping back in time, in the best possible way. It's a lovely reminder that not everything in Japan is about high-tech efficiency. Some things are still done the old-fashioned way, and that's part of the charm. The ride from Shimoyoshida to Kawaguchiko Station only takes around 15 minutes, but it's worth every second. As the train rolls gently along the tracks, the view outside is a slow-moving scroll of local homes, quiet fields, and distant hills, occasionally revealing that unmistakable silhouette of Mount Fuji in the background. With the soft hum of the train and the warm sunlight casting shadows through the windows, it's one of those calm, reflective moments that ties the whole day together. Whether you're continuing your journey around Kawaguchiko or heading back to Tokyo, this short train ride feels like the perfect way to unwind and take it all in. A quiet ending to a day filled with big views, fresh air, and unforgettable scenery. Back at Kawaguchiko Station, I had a little time before my return bus to Tokyo, so I popped into the station cafe for a warm drink and just let the day sink in. There's something satisfying about ending a trip on a calm note. No rushing, no stress, just a quiet moment to reflect. Visiting Chureito Pagoda in winter is truly something special. The snow-dusted stairs, the serene walk through a sleepy town, and of course that breathtaking view of Mount Fuji. It all comes together to create a peaceful escape from the city. Even though it's just a day trip, it feels like a deeper journey, one that slows you down, clears your mind, and leaves you with a photo and memory you'll want to return to again and again. If you're planning a winter getaway from Tokyo and hoping for a stunning view of Fuji with a little cultural depth, this day trip to Chureito Pagoda is more than worth it. Just lace up your shoes, charge your camera, and let the calm of the mountains guide you for a day.